The Sign of Four, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Presentation prepared by Professor Sujata Ali. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, 22nd May 1859 to 7th July 1930, was a British writer and medical doctor. He created the character Sherlock Holmes in 1887 for A Study in Scarlet, the first of the 4 novels and 56 short stories about Holmes and Dr. Watson. The Sherlock Holmes stories are generally considered milestones in the field of crime fiction. Doyle was a prolific writer. Other than Holmes' stories, his works include fantasy and science fiction stories about Professor Challenger and humorous stories about the Napoleonic soldier Brigadier Gerard, as well as plays, romances, poetry, non-fiction and historical novels. One of Doyle's early short stories, J. Habakkuk Jeffson's Statement in 1884, helped to popularize the mystery of the Mary Celeste. The Sign of Four is the second novel of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, in which Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson solve the mystery of the hidden treasure and murder. Famous quotes. How often have I said to you that when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth? I never guess. It is a shocking habit, destructive to the logical faculty. It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Insensibly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts. Major characters appearing in the novel: Sherlock Holmes, John Watson, Mary Morstan, Major Sholto, Thaddeus Sholto, Tonga, Toby. Outline of the novel. Holmes and Dr. Watson are engaged in a discussion when Mary Morstan, a young woman who desires Holmes' advice, visits the two at their place. During the meeting, Mary tells that after her father disappeared under mysterious circumstances some 10 years ago, she began receiving a large pearl in the mail on the same day of every year. She also received a letter instructing her to go with the accompaniment of 2 friends to Lyceum Theatre. The letter gives some hint that some injustice has been done to her. Holmes and Watson agree to accompany Mary. Soon, Watson and Mary get attracted to one another. When the Holmes, Watson and Mary are heading to the Lyceum Theatre, they are whisked away in a darkened carriage to a strange house. Within that house, they find an eccentric gentleman named Thaddeus Sholto. He reveals that not only has Mary's father died, but also that she is a partial heir to a great hidden treasure. Thaddeus goes on to explain that his father always lived in fear of men with wooden legs and on occasions struck out at perfect strangers who were so handicapped. On his deathbed, Major Sholto revealed to his sons the existence of the treasure. But just before he could tell them where it was, the face of a bearded man appeared in the window, and the old man suffered a fatal heart attack. The next morning, a note was found affixed to the body. It read, "Sign of 4." Thaddeus explained that after searching for years for the treasure, his brother Bartholomew discovered it in a hidden attic in the family house. On his deathbed, the brothers' father made them swear they would share the treasure with Mary Morstan, who has some unknown claim in the fortune. Thaddeus concludes by entreating, that is requesting, the three to accompany him to the family estate where they will divide up the fortune. When they arrived at the family estate, the three find a shaken housekeeper who says that Bartholomew has not emerged from his locked room all day. Holmes and Watson peer through the keyhole of the room and find an unnatural, grinning, smiling face leering, looking at them. Holmes instantly knew that something was not right, so he decides to break down the door. Inside, they find the body of Bartholomew. There is a poisoned thorn lodged that is stuck to his neck. After investigating for some time, Holmes concludes that two persons, one of whom had a wooden leg, had committed the crime. According to Holmes, the second person was an especially interesting individual. It also becomes clear that the murderers have stolen the Agra treasure. Holmes further concludes that the wood-legged man stepped in creosote, meaning dark brown oil, during his escape. Following up on the lead, Holmes and Watson borrow a dog to follow the scent, that is the smell. Their search leads them to the edge of the Thames, where it is clear that the two criminals hired a boat. Over the next few days, Holmes recruits his Baker Street irregulars, who are a gang of urchins, meaning poor children living on the street, raggedly dressed, to search the river for the boat. The urchins are not successful in finding the boat, So Holmes himself, in disguise, makes a search for the boat and, to his luck, is able to find the boat named Aurora, which has been camouflaged. That night, Holmes, Watson, and several officers follow the Aurora in a police barge. They gradually overtake the boat, which contains a wooden-legged captain and a small pygmy native from the Andaman Islands. The native attempts to shoot Holmes with a blowpipe and is consequently shot down by both Holmes and Watson. The Aurora runs aground and the wooden-legged man becomes entrapped in the mud. Subsequently, that is eventually, he is captured. The wooden-legged man, whose name is Jonathan Small, is brought back to Baker Street along with an iron box which was found on the boat. Captain Small then begins to tell the story of the Agra treasure, which began when he was stationed as a fortress gatekeeper in India. Captain Small explains that he was approached by 3 Arab guards and offered a share in a great fortune if he would help them murder the man who carried it. Captain Small agreed. When the man, an emissary meaning an envoy or an ambassador or a diplomat from a wealthy sheikh arrived, the 3 Arabs murdered the man as Captain Small blocked his escape. The 4 conspirators hid the treasure, but soon after were arrested for the murder of the emissary. Captain Small was sent to a penal, meaning a disciplinary or a corrective colony on the Andaman Islands. There, he managed to befriend a native pygmy named Tonga, who became his loyal companion. Small bribed 2 of the guards on the island, that is Sholto and Mosden, Mary's father, into helping him escape in exchange for a share in the fortune. The 2 agreed and Sholto left to bring back the treasure. After some time, it became clear to Captain Small that Sholto had betrayed him and he escaped from the island with Tonga. After many years, Captain Small managed to track down Sholto and arrived just in time to see him die. After the death, Captain Small affixed the note that was found on the body as a reference to himself and his 3 Arab companions. When he returned to the Sholto estate, Tonga murdered Bartholomew and the 2 stole the treasure. Small ends his narrative by revealing, that is telling, that in the course of the chase on the Thames, he threw the treasure overboard, that is, in the waters. Small is arrested and taken to prison, and Watson, who has begun to love Mary Morstan, proposes to her to get married. Thus, all ends well in the end, and the mystery of the sign of 4 is also solved. Thank you for watching.